Welcome. In this lesson, we're going to learn to factor a trinomial, or what we call a quadratic. Quadratics are three-term expressions where we have a variable squared plus a coefficient times the variable that's not squared plus some other constant. Now what we do is what we need to realize is how we get the 19 and the 20. All of these are going to be able to be factored into two binomials where whatever variable is being squared is going to go in front, and you're going to go have a single one in each. And then behind those, you're going to have a plus or minus some number. And those two numbers together must multiply to give you the third term, this 19, but must add to give you the 20. So what you do is you take the 19 and off to the side, you write down 19, and you start writing down all its factor pairs. So 1 and 19, 2 and whatever, 3 and whatever, 4 and whatever, except 19's prime. There is no other integer factor pairs. There's just 1 and 9. All this could possibly then be is a plus 1 and a plus 9. And that's actually what you will type in, 19, not 9. But that's actually what you will type into here. You'll type in a u plus 1 times a u plus 19. And it would not matter if you did the 19 first. I could have did the 19 in the first set of parentheses and the 1 in the second set of parentheses, and it will still mark you correct. So this is how you do this. Again, take that third term, and I want you to write down all its prime pairs. In other words, 1 times 22 is 22, but also is 2 times 11. Now, if it's a positive 22, then both of these must either be positive or both must be negative. But since we have a sum, because now what we want to do is we want the right pair that adds to 13, but this adds to 23. So this is not the right one. This one adds to 13. So these are the two numbers that we will put behind in our two sets of parentheses. So again, I'm using the variable f, so we'll have an f in front of each, and then I'm going to have a plus 2, close parentheses, and another set of parentheses, and again, f, and plus 11. Because 2 times 11 is 22, and 2 plus 11 is 13. I'm going to jump ahead because I want to make sure we get to some with some minus signs. Minus signs will throw students, and they are not giving us any with minus signs. These so far have been all very, very simple. So again, this one might be a little harder because it's a bigger number. I'm going to take 34, and I'm going to write down 1 times 34 is 34. 2 times 17 is 34. There isn't any 3s or 4s. Those are the only two. Now I look for the two that when I add them, I'm going to get not 35. That didn't work. I'm going to add them, and I want to get 19. That's this number right here. So remember, this one is what we want to multiply to. This one is the two numbers we want to add to. And so we found that 2 plus 17 is 19, and 2 times 17 is 34. So we just go in there as a q plus 2, q plus 17. Not underscore, plus 17. Now I'm hoping and praying the next one is going to have a minus sign involved. Finally, we got some minus signs. So again, the process is the same though. I'm going to take out here a negative 8. I have 1 and 8, and I have 2 and 4. But one of them must be negative, and one must be positive in order to get a negative outcome. So I got to make one negative and one positive, one negative and one positive. But I don't know which one to make negative until I look here. When I add them together, I want to get a negative 2. So the only way that's going to happen is if I make the larger one negative. So I'm going to make the larger one a negative number. So when I multiply them, I get the negative 8. but when I add, I get a negative outcome. But what's 1 plus negative 8? That's negative 7. I didn't want negative 7. I wanted negative 2. So this didn't work. So what's 2 plus negative 4? Oh, that's negative 2. So I find out that the 2 and the negative 4 are the two numbers. So not these numbers over here, not what I'm adding, because that's the middle number, not what I'm multiplying, that's the end number, but the two numbers that I use to do that. So I come over here and I type in a p plus 2. Oops, make sure you do your parentheses. And I don't need a capital P. I think lowercase is just fine. And a p minus 4. Don't put plus minus 4, just put minus 4. Now again, I could do the minus 4 in the first set of parentheses and the plus 2 in the second set of parentheses, and it would be just fine. So one last one, negative 12. 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. There are no other factor, two numbers that multiply to give me 12. I want it to be a negative product, and I want the outcome to be negative. So I'm going to make the larger of the two negative. 1 times negative 12 is negative 12. That worked, but 1 plus negative 12 is not negative 4. That doesn't work. 2 times negative 6 is negative 12, and 2 plus negative 6 is negative 4. That's the one that works. If I tried this one, 3 plus negative 4 is not negative 4, it's negative 1. So I wouldn't use that one. So x plus 2. Oh, not x. I would be marked wrong. Make sure you use the variable they give you. G minus 6. Again, just be very careful that you use the variables they're using, otherwise it will mark you wrong. If you have any questions, please do bring them to class.